Hello, friends. Today, let's reflect on the incredible kindness of God, a kindness that lifts the broken, strengthens the weary, and breathes hope into the hardest moments. No matter where you are or what you're facing, His love is reaching out to you, ready to restore and renew. Let's dive in together. Imagine standing at the edge of a cliff, overlooking a landscape of shattered dreams, broken promises, and seemingly insurmountable challenges. The wind of despair whips around you, threatening to push you into an abyss of hopelessness. Have you ever felt like you're drowning in a sea of disappointment, with waves of uncertainty crashing over you, leaving you gasping for just a single breath of hope? This is not just a metaphorical description. For many, this is the raw, unfiltered reality of their daily existence. The weight of life's challenges can feel like an enormous boulder pressing down, crushing every ounce of dreams, every spark of potential. Relationships crumble, careers derail, health fails, and in those moments, the distance between your current reality and your deepest hopes seems insurmountable. But what if I told you that your brokenness is not your final destination? What if the very struggles that seem to define you are actually the canvas upon which the most extraordinary story of transformation is about to be painted? Let me take you on a journey that will challenge everything you think you know about your limitations, about your pain, about the very nature of hope itself. This is not just another motivational speech. This is a radical exploration of a divine kindness that doesn't just comfort from a distance, but enters directly into the messiest, most painful corners of human experience. Imagine a love so profound, so transformative, that it can take the most broken pieces of your life and reconstruct them into a masterpiece of purpose and meaning. A love that doesn't just see your pain, but understands it, enters into it, and begins to reshape it from the inside out. The story of Lazarus is perhaps one of the most dramatic illustrations of divine intervention in human history. Picture the scene. Lazarus has been dead for 4 days, not hours, not moments, but days. In the ancient world, this wasn't just death. This was complete and total loss. His body would have begun decomposing. Hope would have completely evaporated. His sisters, Mary and Martha, were consumed by grief. They had watched their brother die, had prepared his body for burial, had gone through the mourning rituals. Their world was defined by loss, by the finality of death. When Jesus arrived, everyone expected mourning, condolences, perhaps some words of comfort. Instead, in John chapter 11, verse 43, something extraordinary happened. Jesus called out with a thunderous voice, "Lazarus, come out!" And in a moment that defied every known law of nature, of science, of human understanding, Lazarus walked out of the tomb. Wrapped in grave clothes, he emerged, a living, breathing testimony that what looks like an ending can actually be a beginning. In the modern world, we have living examples of this profound resilience. Consider Toby Mac, a contemporary Christian artist who has walked through the valley of unimaginable pain. In 2022, he experienced every parent's worst nightmare, losing his son Truett. In the midst of this devastating loss, Toby didn't retreat into bitterness or despair. Instead, he chose vulnerability. He chose to continue creating music that speaks of hope, of restoration, of a love that transcends even the most profound pain. His music became a powerful anthem of faith, not a faith that denies suffering, but a faith that finds strength in the midst of it. In interviews, Toby has spoken openly about his journey, about how grief doesn't simply disappear, but can be transformed into something meaningful. His story reminds us that our pain doesn't have to be the end of our story. It can be the beginning of our most powerful testimony. Consider the story of Joseph, a man who understood betrayal at its deepest level, sold into slavery by his own brothers, falsely accused, thrown into prison. Joseph's life could have been a narrative of perpetual victimhood. Yet the Bible tells us in Genesis chapter 39, verse 21, that the Lord was with Joseph and showed him mercy, and he gave him favor in the sight of the prison keeper. This wasn't just a passive mercy. This was an active, transformative kindness that worked through Joseph's most challenging circumstances. From the pit to the prison to ultimately becoming a leader who saved an entire nation, Joseph's journey demonstrates that our current situation is never our final destination. Divine kindness is not a passive, distant concept. It's not a theoretical promise or a distant hope. It's an active, transformative power that reaches into the deepest, darkest corners of human brokenness. It's a kindness that doesn't just observe our pain, but enters into it, understands it at its most fundamental level, and begins the process of reconstruction. This kindness doesn't promise that you'll never face challenges. Instead, it promises that you'll never face those challenges alone. It's a kindness that provides hope when logic suggests there's none, that brings light when darkness seems overwhelming. Hope is not mere optimism. It's not about putting on a brave face or pretending that everything is okay. True hope is a resilient force that acknowledges pain while simultaneously believing in transformation. It's the conviction that your current chapter is not your entire story. Toby Mack's journey exemplifies this. In losing his son, he didn't minimize his pain. He didn't rush to find a silver lining. Instead, he allowed himself to grieve while simultaneously holding onto a hope that transcends immediate circumstances. His music became a bridge, connecting deep pain with even deeper faith. The story of Lazarus is more than just a miraculous event. It's a profound metaphor for human experience. When Jesus called Lazarus from the tomb, he was doing more than performing a supernatural act. He was making a declarative statement about the nature of hope, about the possibility of resurrection in our most dead situations. Imagine being Lazarus in that moment, wrapped in grave clothes, hearing a voice calling you back to life. The darkness of the tomb, the finality of death, all of it suddenly disrupted by a power greater than human limitation. 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 7 offers a radical invitation. Cast all your anxiety on him because he cares for you. This isn't just a religious platitude. It's an active invitation to experience transformation. It suggests that your burdens are not meant to be carried alone, that there is a divine power ready and willing to shoulder your most profound struggles. Casting your burdens doesn't mean they instantly disappear. It means you're no longer alone in carrying them. It means you're entering into a partnership of healing, of restoration. The story of Job represents the ultimate test of faith. Losing everything, his wealth, his children, his health, Job could have easily cursed God and surrendered to despair. Yet he maintained a profound trust in divine goodness. Job chapter 42, verses 10 to 12 reveals a miraculous restoration. God didn't just return what Job had lost, he provided twice as much. And this isn't just restoration, it's supernatural multiplication. It's a promise that your setbacks can become setups for extraordinary breakthrough. Every scar you carry tells a story. Every moment of brokenness is an opportunity for divine artistry. Your pain is not a mistake. It's a canvas where God's mercy can paint stories of hope, redemption, and unexpected beauty. Nelson Mandela's words ring profoundly true. It always seems impossible until it's done. Your current impossibility is merely a setup for a miraculous turnaround. What looks like an insurmountable challenge is actually an invitation to witness extraordinary transformation. Your circumstances do not define you, just as Jesus called Lazarus out of the tomb, just as Toby Mack found strength in his deepest pain. God is ready to breathe new life into your situation. Your brokenness is a comma, not a period. Your weariness is a pause, not the end of your story. Psalms chapter 34, verse 18 declares, "The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit." This is not distant theology. This is an intimate promise of a God who doesn't just observe your pain, but enters into it, who doesn't just offer theoretical comfort, but provides tangible hope. This message is more than words. It's an invitation to believe that your story is still being written, that your most profound chapters are yet to be revealed. Click on another video in this channel, share this message, subscribe. Let this be the beginning of a journey where you discover that God's kindness is not just a concept, but a living, breathing reality that can transform your entire existence. Your story isn't over. It's just getting started. Have a great day. God bless.